Jared here in Mason, Ohio at Kings Island for opening night of Halloween Haunt 2019. And we are in and ready to get started here. Now, a little bit unexpected. It is like 90 degrees outside today. Last year up here in the front part of the park, they had some scary decorations set up. This year it looks like they're going more of a Midwest harvest theme or something. It's cute, but not spooky. Unfortunately, I'm down here by myself tonight. My wife was not able to get the time off, and none of my kids wanted to make a long drive down. The front part of this park looks awesome at night. It's got flames going and fog and some awesome orange lights, so we're definitely gonna make it back up here later. One of the things I think Kings Island does really well is they have a very large variety of scarier props throughout the entire haunt compared to some of the other events that I've been to. I mean, check out this dude. He's not too scary if he's not gonna look you in the eyes though, is he? Love it when places redo their window displays. This is something pretty awesome Kings Island does. They have these little witch lanterns, is sort of what I call them. They have them at Cedar Point too. But the difference here is each one of them has a name of one of the haunted houses at Kings Island, or in the case of Pumpkin Eater, Scare Zone. The scare zones here don't open until 8 o'clock. The haunts are open at 6. But I wanted to walk through the Dance of the Macabre and kind of just check things out. You can see this old vintage sort of dinner thing. Somebody's very modern computer setup. More old vintage moldy food. Pretty scary. Photo op. I sure wish somebody was here to take my picture in the photo op, but I'm by my lonesome. It's a very interesting scare zone. It looks like it's just a photo op zone. We'll have to see what's going on later when it actually opens up. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is just park decorations they have out. This isn't a scare zone or anything in particular. This is just what I really like about this event. I mean, this feels like it should be a scare zone, but alas, it is not. Instead, it's just a fog zone. Be aware of that, man. The fog in here gets so thick you can't see at times, for sure. The first new zone I come to is Zombie Mall, which is right after Coney Mall. It's in the same little midway. So I guess they took one scare zone and split it up into 2, maybe? That is an awesome looking hearse, but I'm gonna tell you what, man, I'm not afraid of it because its tires are flat. I don't think it's gonna chase you down on the road. I don't really see any props out in Zombie Mall, so I'm guessing it's gonna be more about the scare actors in this zone. Let's count these corn stalks and recycling bins on top of the foggers as props. It's another real interesting display they have here in Kings Island. They get a real mix of scary and homey this year, that's for sure. I'm gonna head into Pumpkin Eater to take a look around. I loved this scare zone last year. It was awesome. The only problem was it was way too dark to film, so I'm gonna walk through it with the lights on. Or the sunlight out, you know, whatever. Absolutely love that prop. Yeah, I absolutely love these giant pumpkins. Now, these props are from my absolute favorite company to work with, Ghost Ride Productions. I've got a lot of their stuff. They're an awesome, awesome company. They make some really cool stuff. First haunt I come to is Madame Fatale's Cavern of Terror Lights Out, so I guess I'm gonna go in here and knock it out real quick. So just to let you know, I'm not gonna be allowed to film inside any of the attractions. So when I get done, I'll just give you my thoughts on what it was like. I can kind of just show a teeny bit of the queue line. Alright, now I'm going camera dark. So I just got out of Madame Fatale's Cavern and I'm going to give you some friendly advice. Do not go through that haunted house while it is still daylight out, because they've got like the emergency exits open and all that outside light just kind of floods that house and you can see everything. Other than that, it's a cool haunt, like design-wise, but they're doing like a lights out thing where they give you a glow stick. And that sort of thing does create some interesting opportunities, I guess, inside haunted houses, but overall, I hate it when haunts do that. I'd rather look at the props and see like show lighting. They do something similar at one of the Cedar Point haunts, except they use like a flashlight so you get a little bit more light. That glow stick doesn't show anything, but you can tell there's like cool scenes and stuff in there that you just can't see them. Guess I'm just gonna go ahead and start knocking these out right in order. Next up, Slaughterhouse. It would appear that Kings Island doesn't have all their haunt facades out quite yet. So just got out of Slaughterhouse, not too bad. The actors were pretty good. Haunt's pretty much what you would expect. It's, you know, a bunch of dead animals and people getting ground up in machines. It's very similar to the one at Cedar Point, but there's enough differences so it doesn't feel like the same haunt. But it's the same general concept. We're going for haunt number 3, and it's still daylight out. Urgent Scare. Here we go. One of the things that I think Kings Island does that's awesome is they have these light up signs outside all of their haunts. One thing that I think that they don't do well is they have no wait time indicators outside any of the haunted houses. That's a little rough. Here we go, the facade for Urgent Scare. I'm curious, what did this used to be? Because it looks like the Plants vs. Zombie ride at Carowinds. Looks like the same style building. Man, the queue line for Urgent Scare took forever to go through. They needed to let groups in like at least twice as fast as they were doing. That was pretty bad. The haunt was pretty decent. You could see the ceiling the whole time, but the actors were really energetic. They were pretty good, and they had some pretty decent sets. Time to head into the new Shipwrecked scare zone. Look at all those Bucky skeletons. Oh, I really like what they did over here. This is really good.
Right on. That's what I said.
Fish creature, little pirate conference.
Hey guys.
This did a super good job with this pirate ship. Extra marks for this because check this out. Not only did they build this boat, if you look inside it, there's actually a scene inside that. It's not just like a boat facade. Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff over in this section. So when you look at this piece, it really seems like there should be an actor up on it. It's got a platform for it and everything. Maybe later on in the season they'll have some people in here. I like it, man. They built like full little buildings out here in this scare zone. That's real interesting. This is really, really good. You did a real good job back here. Very, very impressed with Shipwrecked. Let's see if I can find another haunt through this fog somewhere. Well, as you can see, we're heading into Wolfpack next. The interesting thing about this haunt is it's in the old loading dock for, I think, Son of Beast. Got out of Wolfpack. It's alright. It feels a little dated in there. I really like the theme. I'd like to see him keep the theme, but maybe revamp the haunt. There's some interesting stuff in there. There's also like a lot of really giant rooms that they could probably turn into 2 or 3 narrower, smaller rooms, but overall not bad. So right next to Wolfpack is also Blackout, but I'm gonna skip this one for a couple reasons. Number one, the line is really long. It's exactly how it sounds. It's just a Blackout haunt. It does got a couple interesting twists. Like, one is you hold onto a rope with everybody else as you walk through it, and there's like, I don't know, 7 or 8 people to a rope. They do a couple interesting sensory things, but overall, I'm not saying it's bad, I just I don't feel like waiting for a haunt that's just a blackout haunt when I don't get very scared. I don't get scared very easily in haunts at all. So mostly what I do is look at the props and stuff, and you can't see anything in there. So the top two things I would say Kings Island Haunt has going for it is that it has, number one, the absolute best entrance to a haunted event I've seen. The Eiffel Tower back there, over this lake, the flamethrowers and the fog. It just looks awesome. And number two would be their use of fog. And if you're wondering, this is the International Street Fear Scare Zone. This is what they're considering it, and it's pretty accurate. There's not very many actors walking around it right now, but earlier there was a ton. They had a lot of sliders and a lot of people walking around. Yeah, this main midway is pretty wicked looking. Yeah, tons of these Bucky skeletons climbing up their buildings. So they're doing something with their lighting towers that I really like that Cedar Point also did. And that's they're decorating them up a little bit. And here they just got a ton of Bucky skeletons crawling all over them. But they don't just have just a regular old lighting tower sitting out. Not even Planet Snoopy is safe from the fog at Kings Island. I mean, I gotta hand it to them, man. They stick with it throughout the entire park, because there's really zero reason to be back here in Planet Snoopy. And yet, man, the fog machines back here are jamming. I'm heading into Zombie Mall. So I've walked through Zombie Mall a few times and I'm not seeing a whole lot of zombies in there. Now the zones did just open up maybe like an hour ago, so it could be that. Time to hit a Kill Mart next. This is one of my favorites from last year, so I'm pretty excited about it. Beware, they are everywhere. Except they're not in the Zombie Mall for some reason. Just got out of Kill Mart, and once again I think this is my favorite haunt at the event. It's really good. It's a department store overrun with zombies, and it does exactly what it's set out to do. And the actors did a really good job. It feels like there could be more actors in there, and not because there's a shortage of actors, it just feels like there's that many more good scare spot opportunities inside that house, to where it's like, hey man, you could probably have another 5 to 10 actors in here and it wouldn't feel like too much. But really good, I like it a lot. Good job. Heading back to Chaos. Now, I remember not really liking this one last year. Let's see if it's any better this year. Well, thankfully the line for this one is not very long at all. So I just got out of Chaos, and I don't like being negative. I like to be a pretty positive guy. I don't like finding fault with things people have done. But that is a really bad haunted house, and I apologize for saying it, but it's just true. That one's going to be a really good candidate to get ripped out and replaced next year. I'm not even really sure what they're trying to do in there. I will say the 3 actors I saw in there did a good job, and it's got a couple of interesting lighting effects, but overall it's just not quality. It's hard to say because all their other haunts are pretty good, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that one, and it was new last year. Let's head into Pumpkin Eater and check it out at night now. It could be in my head, but it looks a lot brighter this year to me than it did last year. the final haunt that I'm gonna do tonight, Backwoods Bayou. So let's get in there and knock this one out. So I just got out of Backwoods Bayou and I went through that one last year and didn't quite know what to make of it. And I don't know quite what to make of it this year either. I think it's exactly the same as it was last year. I think that one's got a lot of potential, and especially after walking through what they did with Shipwrecked, it's like, why aren't you guys doing something like that in Backwoods Bayou? If you've ever been through Cutthroat Cove, that's kind of what Backwoods Bayou reminds me of. There's a couple cool ideas in there that they could really expand on. I think they could make that really, really good. Maybe that's what they should do next year. They should sort of revamp that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's laid out funny in there. They have a high use of fog, which I think is awesome, but like it's easy to run into stuff because of where it's placed with the fog. Like, these guys should be in there. I will say this, one of the actors in there got me the best I've been gotten all night. So kudos to you. Oh good, man, they do have them lit up at night. Good luck finding your locker in all that fog. I really feel like this section of the park would be a really good scare zone here. They could just use this theming, all these gravestones and crypts. This is just feels like a good spot for one. So I know I keep talking about the fog over and over again, but I really want to hammer home the point because there's been several times where I have pretty much almost ran into somebody. Just can't see where the heck you're going, but I love it. Love that effect. You see what I mean? Like, there's people walking towards me, and they're hard to see. It's hard to see, but there's some cool trees back there. Well, that's gonna do it tonight for me at Halloween Haunt at Kings Island. I think I had an awesome time tonight.